Have you ever noticed how, in the news, big events never seem to come alone? A company announces record profits, and immediately afterward, the CEO suddenly resigns. A singer drops a new album, and soon after, a world tour is announced. There's no pause, no breathing space, just one major moment rushing straight into the next. That powerful sense of speed and momentum is exactly what today's expression is all about. Welcome back. I'm Anthony from Koala English Podcast, and in this episode, we're going to explore the meaning of hot on the heels, and more importantly, how you can use it to make your own English sound more vivid, dramatic, and natural. Let's get started. All right, let's really dive into this expression and feel its power. Imagine this. The city is already dealing with serious flooding. Roads are underwater, people are stressed, businesses are closed. It already feels like too much. And then, before anyone has time to recover, another storm is announced. No pause, no breathing space, just one major event crashing in right after another. That intense feeling of speed and momentum, that's exactly what hot on the heels captures. At its core, this idiom is about two things: closeness and immediacy. One event happens, and almost instantly another event follows. The time gap is very short, sometimes shockingly short, and often there's an element of surprise. You didn't see it coming that fast. For example, there were cyber attacks on major shops, and hot on the heels of those attacks, airlines were targeted as well. The second event feels heavier because it arrives so quickly. Or think about something positive. Someone wins a cooking competition. That's already exciting. And hot on the heels of that win, they're asked to cater for a wedding. Success builds on success. So this phrase works for bad news or good news. It's flexible. Now let's look at the image behind the words, because this is important. Your heels are the back part of your feet. Picture yourself running in a race. You're in front. You're trying to stay focused, and suddenly you realize another runner is extremely close behind you. So close you can almost feel their breath on your neck. That runner is hot on your heels. The word hot adds pressure. It suggests urgency. It's not calm. It's not relaxed. It's intense. Not the kind of race where you feel comfortable. That physical image is what gives this idiom its dramatic energy. When we use it for events, we borrow that feeling. The second event is chasing the first. Now, you'll often hear this phrase in news reports and storytelling. For example, hot on the heels of their league win, the team won the cup. Or, hot on the heels of her album release, she announced a world tour. These sentences connect two major events and create momentum. It sounds like things are moving fast. But this phrase is not only about time, it can also describe position. The police were hot on the heels of the robber. That means they were very close behind in a chase. In a race, the second runner might be hot on the heels of the leader. In business, a new company can be hot on the heels of the market leader. That suggests competition, They are close to catching up. So whether we're talking about time or chasing, the key idea is always closeness and pressure. Now, let's talk about structure, because this is the practical part. The most common pattern is hot on the heels of, followed by a noun or event. For example, hot on the heels of the announcement, ticket sales increased dramatically. Hot on the heels of his promotion, he bought a new car. It's a clear pattern. First event after of. Second event follows. But here's something very important. This phrase is slightly formal. It sounds journalistic. It works best for important or dramatic situations. You wouldn't say, hot on the heels of my morning coffee, I checked my phone. That sounds far too dramatic for normal daily life. It needs weight. It needs impact. Now you might ask, why not just say right after? You can, but right after simply tells us the order. Hot on the heels creates imagery. It compresses time. It makes the two events feel connected, almost like one pushes the other forward. It adds drama. All right, let's practice. Which sentence sounds natural? Hot on the heels of waking up, I brushed my teeth. Or, hot on the heels of the product launch, the company received thousands of orders. The second one is clearly stronger. Why? Because a product launch is a major event. Thousands of orders create consequence. It feels newsworthy. The first sentence is just routine. There's no drama. Now let's try another quick one. Hot on the heels of the heavy flooding, another storm was announced. Or, hot on the heels of eating lunch, I drank water. Again, the first sentence works. The second one sounds exaggerated. So here's what I want you to do. Think about something important that happened recently in your life. Maybe you passed an exam. And hot on the heels of passing that exam, you received a job interview invitation. Maybe you finished a big project. And hot on the heels of finishing it, you were offered a new opportunity. When you practice linking events this way, you're not just learning vocabulary, you're learning how to build momentum in English. And that's really what this idiom is about. It's about showing that life sometimes moves fast. One moment finishes, and the next is already chasing behind it. When you can express that clearly and confidently, your storytelling becomes stronger. And that's the power of hot on the heels. So today wasn't just about learning a new idiom. It wasn't just about understanding a structure or adding one more phrase to your vocabulary list. It was about learning how to create momentum in English. Hot on the heels teaches you something deeper than timing. It teaches you how to show movement, how to show intensity, how to show that life doesn't always slow down politely between important moments. Sometimes one event finishes and another is already chasing behind it. Sometimes success builds quickly. Sometimes challenges arrive back to back. And when you can describe that clearly, your English becomes more powerful. Because fluency isn't just about grammar. It's about knowing how to tell a story in a way that feels alive. So this week, listen carefully. When you watch the news, notice how events unfold. When something important happens in your life, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what came hot on the heels of that? Was it an opportunity? A responsibility? A surprise? That simple reflection will help you truly own this expression. And if today's episode helped you understand hot on the heels in a deeper way, please like this video so more learners can find it. Share it with a friend who's working on their English. Subscribe to the Koala English Podcast for weekly episodes that help you grow not only your vocabulary, but your confidence. And I genuinely love to hear from you. Finish this sentence in the comments below. Hot on the heels of something important in my life, something else happened. Make it real. Make it personal. Thank you for learning, and I'll see you in the next episode on Koala English.